When I had a boy who became my constant companion in college, my dad said to me awkwardly on the phone, "We're just so glad you found a person to be with." When I confronted my mother that the guy I was living with in grad school was actually my boyfriend, she said, "I'm just happy you found someone at all. You're so picky." When that guy and I announced to his parents that we were getting married, they both said, "Really?" And when prodded further, "We're just so surprised." And when I called home to announce that I was pregnant, my stepfather told me, "We never thought you would. We didn't think you liked children." So you see the pattern here. Growing up, I was not pretty. And I was not only not popular, I was actively unpopular. It's awkward to say, but please take my word, because I say it without any particular pride, that I was a brain. It wasn't just the big 80s glasses and the passion for philosophy. I was one of those kids teachers call on when no one else knows the answer, rewarded for my knowledge with an emphatic "thank you" from the teacher, and equally emphatic eye rolls from everyone else. There was no Big Bang Theory back then, not even a Lisa Simpson. I was nerdy when it cost something to be nerdy, and one of the things it cost was that I was no one's idea of a girlfriend, wife, or mother. Well, so it seemed. Here I am, having achieved all three titles. But people who knew me before that happened apparently never expected it, and that would include me. I think that's why, at the time, I instinctively recoiled at the titles of mama literature that should have been aimed right at me. Hip Mama magazine, Brainchild, the magazine for thinking mothers, born the same year my daughter was. Salon's column, Mothers Who Think, and the book of the same name, another 1999 baby. There is nothing wrong with these publications, of course. It's just that I had finally made it all the way in to the Real Woman Club. The last thing I wanted was the barest hint that I was different from other mothers, least of all because I liked to think. So I dove into motherhood like a religious convert, born again. It was not hard. I looked into my firstborn daughter's eyes, and it was an invitation to go somewhere I had never been. Her eyes said, "They have no idea. They don't know the half of who you are." They said, "You don't know the half of who you are." And she was right. Finding myself knitting booties, painting rocks to look like ladybugs, baking cupcakes with ice cream cone witch hats. This was as much a revelation to me as my first encounter with French feminist criticism. Possibly more so, because I was so far out of what I had long thought, or heard, was my element. Yes, I kept up with my Schopenhauer and my Voltaire, right alongside my subscriptions to Martha Stewart and Oprah. Do you have to do these things to be a mother? No, you don't. But motherhood was the first time I realized that I could. I read, I have friends, so I know lots of girls grew up, some still grow up, wrongly believing that because they were girls, they were not smart. I was on the other side of that equation. I was considered very smart as a kid, and so I was not a girl. Not really. But that was before. Now I pass as a mother very convincingly. In fact, I have come to like it better when my other life, the one where I write about epistemology and Marxist aesthetic theory and other impossibly pretentious-sounding but fascinating topics, comes up as a surprise if it comes up at all. If I'm honest, I kind of enjoy it when someone gives me, a middle-aged Midwestern homeschooling mommy, a condescending pat on the head and a cluck of the tongue, because whatever they see in front of them, woman, wife, mother, doesn't match up with their idea of an educated, intellectual, accomplished adult. I tend not to correct them. Schopenhauer thought it was the worst of the sins, but I can't resist the schadenfreude, standing back and letting someone make an ass of himself. And in the weirdest way, I welcome the feeling of solidarity, of knowing that in that moment of being underestimated, I stand in the sensible shoes of mothers everywhere, in all times. I can't say that I like it, but I welcome being reconnected with that first and lasting discovery of motherhood. They don't know the half of who you are. And that's okay, because I still don't either. I make my way alongside my own smart girls, now 11 and 15, and we keep learning together that there are no limits on how to be a girl. Cosmetologist and engineer are surprisingly compatible career goals. Sparkly eyeliner and miniskirts coordinate perfectly with AP Physics and Linguistics Olympiad. We are girls, women, with bodies as well as minds, and we get to surprise you with them however we want.